It's a term that reacts actually to the way IT used to be, where if you allocated a server, if you bought something that was physical, it's got some value to it and you want it to have a lifetime. Now with something like EC2, you start a virtual machine, and when you're done with it, you literally throw it away. You don't consider it as something that's precious to you, you use it for the time you want it, and then it just goes away. It's certainly safe to view storage as nearly infinite. And if you look at storage, just the cost of storage, not the cost of moving bits, storage itself, almost zero to put bits on a spindle. It becomes more expensive when you move the spindle and you try to put those bits out on the network. Computing is a step beyond that. You'd like to view it as quasi-infinite, but as we've seen with EC2 and others recently, you get to a boundary where 20 instances, 200 instances, and then suddenly things start to fill up. So it's not safe to consider compute quasi-infinite yet, but in the near future, yeah, probably. So, as we mentioned with throwaway resources, the notion that experimentation is not just possible, but it's what you want. Corporate IT today is bound by governance, by provisioning cycles that take months, budgets that are outside of the realm of the folks that actually consume the resources. With something like cloud computing, either private clouds or public on-premise clouds, all that's much more flexible. So the decision-making process happens much more quickly. Executives can say yes to things that they couldn't say yes to before. Experimentation goes up, time to market goes down. So I think it'll change corporate IT quite a bit. Already, we're seeing that if you look at any of the startups who are running web-facing applications, user-facing applications on the network, I spoke with a small, not to be named, but influential VC company, principals at a VC company a couple of years ago, and they were talking about all of the startups that they fund that are infrastructure or websites and how many were running on EC2. And it appears to me, without them giving numbers, that it's pretty much everybody. All of those startups, nobody goes out and buys a server now. Any startup that's on the network is actually in a cloud somewhere, and most of them are on EC2. I certainly hope so. The model is so attractive in that anything you can consume that has a value, you can probably put some sort of value over time on, and then it really is just pay as you go. Storage was obvious. Compute maybe less so, but obvious now. What's the next thing? We already do it with mobile minutes and pay as you go. So absolutely, anything that you consume that has a value over time will become pay as you go.